You think you came from a swan?
Yeah.
The bird?
Mm-hmm.
If the bird is dropping off the baby, okay, then why am I Emerson's dad? Have you seen any other birds dropping off kids?
They were an invisibility cloak.
A reporter named Nellie Bowles, she discovered this world and kind of invited me to help research, her New York Times article that she would later go on to publish. I got, accepted into some of the Facebook groups, and I just became fascinated with the tonal disparity between women and a bunch of these guys who were donating their sperm for free.
All right, so I guess we'll start.
I honestly was very skeptical of it at first. I've always felt that if I can't emotionally connect to people, I will have a very difficult job photographing them correctly. And I thought I would lack empathy towards a lot of these people because, how am I going to connect to a guy who has 150 kids? But you can find empathy in the strangest places. We searched all over the country for people, and a lot of it was going on these Facebook groups.
Behind each Facebook post, there was a story.
But for the first several months of this film, we really struggled in finding the people.
I was initially kind of thinking about, well, maybe it would be good to find somebody that's been doing this for long enough that they maybe don't really want to do it anymore. So that kind of brought us to Ari.
Who do I spend time with? Do I go visit my kids or do I go visit my parents? It would be nice if I was able to combine them.
Maybe it would be good to find someone who's really at the beginning of their process as a sperm donor. And that led us to Steve.
Fucking love that.
Tyree is a donor, and his fiancée, Atasha, is having trouble with pregnancy.
I'm sure there's a way. You just have to be open.
And then there's Rachel, our youngest character, and she has cystic fibrosis. She's having trouble just staying alive, but she has this deep desire to have a baby.
You know how many pregnancy tests I've torn apart thinking there's something there? Just hoping.
We really try to embed with these characters, live with them in their lives and really see their journey over a long period. Our goal is always how do we slim down the team as much as possible so that we can really put all the money into days and time with the people and time to experiment. Me and Lance just try a billion things and 99% of the time it fails completely.
When it don't happen, it most definitely is a heartbreaker.
But every 1% of the time you get something that's really magical. We always set out with some references, but I find the first couple of days of filming together are always quite confusing and jarring, and there's a lot of tension between us because for me, I need a reason behind why I shoot something a certain way. We wanted it all to feel hyper subjective because I think so many of these sperm donors and these recipients, they really live in their own heads.
I think that's usually coincidence.
How can you shoot how a camera would exist as if it was inside their mind? And so we collaborated a lot with our subjects to try and bring out that sense of despair and hopefulness that they would feel sometimes.
We were on this mission to find the grittiest locations and the strangest color palette, and we leaned deeply into blues and greens and weird color tints and halation and glowing lights. And with all the anamorphic distortion, it really makes it look crazy. So when you're on a close-up, the whole world is just this kind of blurry dream. ShotDeck is the ultimate reference tool.
Bringing Out the Dead was a big one.
The work of Wong Kar-wai has been a huge inspiration for us. Chungking Express blew me away.
Spielberg's Minority Report.
As a DP, it's you could get awards, you could get accolades, it doesn't matter. For me, just being on ShotDeck, it's that's the thing. That's where you're okay, I guess I made it. Every now and then you get these little magical moments. I mean, the one shot I remember, I was zooming in on Atasha. She's in this playground with Tyree, and then also another woman that Tyree had a child with, and the baby is there. The sun, for whatever reason, is just flaring the camera perfectly, and right as I land on a close-up of her face, a single tear comes down her eye as she's staring at this baby, and you're just God, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's a very existential movie. You know, you're looking at people stuck at crossroads in their lives, trying to make sense of their existence on this planet. I guess most of the films I'm interested in making are about people who kind of have dreams, right? And eventually end up becoming trapped by them a little bit. And then figuring out in the sort of like the wreckage of that dream how they can survive.